welcome back to the Red Bill Performance channel. In case y'all are new or it's your first episode on the scene, thank you for joining us. And we got us a 2002 7.3 Powerstroke here. I have fondly nicknamed Project Dopity Dope because of its shiny and dopeness. And you know, we got this 7.3 out of this truck. Nothing wrong with it. Has a few little minor leaks and this and that. Just the owner wanted to, you know, beef it up a little bit. He wanted a little more steam out of it, a little more choo-choo. So that's what we're helping him with. Pretty much just freshening up the whole engine, taking care of leaks, and giving it the mods to supply all the fuel it needs. Done a complete fuel system on this. Like I said, hop back to the previous video, you can see more on that. Like, full fuel system has been gone through on this thing. Like, it's gonna be chooching quite a bit better than what it was. It's ready to go in. Hey, don't forget to fill y'all's oil reservoir if y'all are diving into one this deep. You want this full whenever you do your first start. You don't want to starve your new high pressure oil pump. That would make you very sad. Very sad indeed. So make sure you fill your reservoir. And once it gets full, it will start running out if you don't have said oil filter on. So maybe even after you get it in the truck and get the oil filter on, get the engine full of oil, pull this plug out here, top this back off again. Just make sure you have oil ready and waiting to go into that H-pop, because you do not want to, you know, just ruin your brand new high pressure oil pump. That would be sad. Anyway, like I was saying, we're done. We got our pedestal, our EBV delete pedestal on here. We have our new H-pop. We have all of our fuel lines on. Wiring harness on, the oil pan, the rear main seal, injector, studs. I mean, this thing is just, it's ready. It is new glow plugs even, in fact, are in here. Yeah, there, yeah. But yeah, it's all in here. It's all ready. The engine, it's ready. I mean, it's just never been more ready in its life to go back in the truck. Not quite going in just yet. Getting closer. She's on the ground. Or we've been tossing this starter around for years. You know, just by unbolting it and then just leaving it on the cable and just moving around and tossing it on the cable. Well, I don't know if y'all can tell, but it's not exactly what you would call in the best shape. Like, it is, you know, it's not that good. So I'm going to replace this end here. And I did get in a bunch of red heat shrink. So that one cord, that one fusible link on the motor, I'll take care of that here in a little bit. Maybe after it's in, maybe before it's in. I don't know. Maybe when I go to hook it up. We'll see. But I am going to go ahead and get this fitting off, get a new lug on there. And this one's got some cracks in it, so might as well change that one out too while we're here. So I'll get that done real quick and let y'all see the finished product. Woo, dang! The truck is on the ground. The transmission is on a jack. And now I have to stop here because I didn't unwrap the engine. Stupid. The engine is unwrapped. The heater is roaring. Battery cable. Happy end is professionally repaired with solder and heat shrink. I actually took the time, did this one right. Cleaned up the ground. You know, it all bolts together right here, does a thing. Cleaned up the ground for the engine. Cleaned up the ground lug for the engine. Went ahead and ugga-dugga that right on there, so that won't be a problem. And hey, y'all know what time it is. It's time for this to go in here. I'm gonna kick y'all over on a time lapse for just a couple minutes. I'm gonna try and keep it as short as I can. I know some of y'all love time lapses. Some of y'all are kind of iffy about them, but you know, just is what it is. Oh yeah, and I need to move that fuel line real quick. I need to go ahead and get that buttoned up where I want it generally routed. But I'm gonna do that right quick, and then I'm gonna kick y'all on time lapse, and we're gonna get this in as quick as we can. All right. And also, don't forget to put your flywheel on. Your newly refurbished flywheel. Straight from the wire wheel. You know, don't forget that you got to put all this on here before you put it in. Because I absolutely did not get excited and stick it in there and then be all like, man, them torque converter bolts are easy to line up. Totally didn't happen here. Nope, I just hung it up in the air and I just forgot to remind y'all to put this on and make sure you use Loctite on all this newly refurbished parts from the wire brush. That being said, let's get this thing on here. It's almost impossible to do it wrong because this has, you know, a lip here. This has a recess. There's a dowel pin. There's a hole for a dowel pin. I mean, it's pretty hard to put that on wrong. Not gonna lie. Can be done though. Anything can be done if you want it done. You know, if you try hard enough, anything can be done. Get out of there, bolts. Go on, get. I only need one of you right now, and we'll make it that one. Oh, I'm good. See if I get it good again. Did I get it good again? No, I think I'm off by a hole. Oh, I got it good again. First try every time. All right, I just need 2 bolts in here just to, you know, hold it in place. There we go. That's in place. Get her Loctited up. Oh, we like Loctite. Yeah, we do. Just a little bit, not too much. Oh yeah. And these are blind holes, so they don't have to be thread sealed. I mean, that crank is solid. If you have an 0273 and the holes in the crank ain't blind, well, I don't know what happened, because my crank bolts are blind. They bottom out. So all you gotta do is just make sure that they are Loctited in there, and then torque down to proper torque specifications. Oh yeah. And you know, make sure you are not liberal with the Loctite whatsoever. Yeah, just a little bit goes a long ways. Can't understand why I go through this stuff so quick. Nope. It baffles me. Now, you want to tighten these down in a crisscross applesauce type pattern, just like you would your wheel lugs. First, you want to, you know, just run them on there. See what this thing feels like on one. That's weak sauce. Yeah, we gotta have more than that, surely. Ooh. 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 Then you just walk it around. Torqued. All right, now you can put it in the truck. Now that this is on here, just remember, whatever you do, no matter what happens, don't get excited and put the engine in without the flywheel on it, because that is just a rookie mistake. And Nobody will let you live it down ever. All right. Let's get that time lapse rolling now. It's finally time. I know it's only been like 2.3 seconds for y'all, but it's been like, I don't know. Been a few days for me. Just to get to this point. Anyway, had a lot of this happening. You know, had a lot of wiring. We cut some stuff out that's not going back in. You know, just had some other wiring that I didn't like looking at. It was kind of a cluster, you know, just slight modifications over the years, like one modification at a time, and them kind of just getting piled in here on top of each other. All kind of let it just being a mess. So I had a mental breakdown, and I just come in and tore everything apart and rewired everything. Because I didn't like it, okay? I just didn't like it. But things have happened. Like, I got this wiring nightmare that, cause I mean, you couldn't even see it before. From like here back was just wires, just a jumbleness of jumble. You couldn't see down through here either, which I still got the fender well still out, you know, in case I got to get back in here because I did something wrong. But anyway, all this addressed. And so even the battery cables are tightened up. Like they used to be like, used to look like cobwebs coming off of the battery cables. You know, so I got all that just addressed. Man, I got all this buttoned up. I got the intake heater unhooked from this side of the relay, and I have the glow plugs unhooked from the relay. So, because I've been tuning the truck and checking stuff and testing stuff to make sure that, you know, I did my job right, and I didn't want these continually cycling. You know, that's why we got the old jump box on, just keeping everything juiced up. But yeah, I've just had these unhooked so they wouldn't just constantly be cycling every, you know, few minutes. But the Banks brake is on. It's got its little actuators here. That's there. Its harness is ran and tucked. It had to tap into the coolant. It had to tap into the brake validation switch here. There's one wire that I had to run to the computer. There's 2 wires here that are part of the harness. And now this Banks brake harness, almost everything that comes out here, I had to take the harness apart and extend it because it was a little short. And the only reason I can put in my mind of why it all come up so short everywhere, except for the computer actually had way too much there, is because it comes with the grommet and it wants you to punch a hole in the firewall. So I'm guessing they want you to come out like right here, like right up in that general area. That's the only thing that makes sense to me for everything to reach the way that they had it. But there was a grommet down here where all the other wires come out of the firewall that wasn't used. So I was like, why am I going to punch a random hole over here when I can just run it out with all the other wires? So that's what I did. I ran it out over there. So it's probably just a me thing, but I had to, like I said, take the harness apart and extend all the wires on it to make it work. And then all of their fittings are these little, just pushed together, you know, just blade style, male and female connectors. I'd use those in some places, you know, like there, and like on the computer, I hardwired it in. It's just, it's tapped in. It's not, you know, just pushed together. Plus, like this is the only one where they send you fittings to do it. And this one right here, like this whole valve set's pre-wired, so that plugs in. But like this in here, they just wanted you to use one of those little like T-junctions, one of those splice clips. I threw them all away. I don't keep them. I don't believe in them. I hate them, but they're just like the ones that clamp over the wire and just kind of have that metal thing that kind of just like cuts into the wire. I don't like those. Like, I hate them. I don't think they're good. They usually get corrosion after a little while and just, they're not good. I don't like them. So I did away with that here and actually, you know, spliced in a pigtail so you can connect and unconnect. So, you know, future use, if you want to unhook stuff, you can unhook it, whatever. But anyway, I got the harness in for the Banks brake. It's all ran, it's good. And here's the vacuum line for the pod. And these lines run down, and this is where Banks wants you to mount it too. But it runs down all of your lines. I brought mine outside the framer. I'm trying to keep them as far away from that exhaust manifold as possible. Ooh! Now I got them just coming right up through here. That's a Banks trans command. Yeah, this thing's got Banks all over it. But then it just comes on back to this lovely little pump right here. Mount it up. That's the way we like it. And right there is where the Banks downpipe comes. Ties into the Banks 4-inch exhaust. Ooh. Air dog. Man, that's dope. But outside of that, I mean, everything else is in here and ready to go. I mean, everything except for the coolers. Like, the coolers ain't on, the fan's not on, the belt's not on. And, you know, there's no coolant in it, obviously, but there's oil in it. Everything else is hooked up. Everything else is in place where it's supposed to be. So we're gonna attempt our first start here. We're gonna see if she pops off. And that means we also get to see if that big spoolie boy right there makes any cool sounds. Yeah, this right here is gonna be the legit first start. Like, just a few minutes ago, I just got done uploading the new tune in it. So it probably won't even start. All right, because, you know, I'm no master tuner, but, you know, I've adjusted everything to where it will hopefully might at least pop off. But it's probably going to take a few cycles and stuff because I know there's got to be a bunch of air in that fuel system up there. So it might take a few cycles, but we are here and we are ready to see if this thing will pop off. And all that wiring mess that y'all seen over there on that table all come from right back in here. Because it had this, you know, fancy aftermarket remote start on it with alarms and bells and whistles, and it was tied into like everything on the truck. Like, I had to chase wires all over the place and get rid of their splices and little cheap splice connectors and wrapped around, just not good. It was junk, not good. And you know, the key fob had quit working years ago now, so that's why all that's ripped out here, because it wasn't needed, and plus it really cluttered up the place. We still got a few wires I got to tuck up, but worry about that once it actually, you know, lives. That's still a big if here. But yeah, here's the actual Banks control module for the Banks brake, and that is where the instructions say mount it, so it's there. But they want you to use double-sided tape on this little frame rail. The kit didn't come with double-sided tape, so they might have forgot to put that in there. But also, I don't like double-sided tape. You know, I love my zip ties. You know, you got to have your zip ties. If you don't have zip ties, you're just doing it wrong. And then you switch, it just mounts up right over here next to the Banks pod. Oh yeah, Banksing it out to the max. But you know, outside of the Banks sponsorship I'm looking for, I would really enjoy a zip tie sponsorship, because I use those bad boys. Like, half of my yearly budget is probably consumed by zip ties. Well, no, let's see, I'd say a third, because 1/3 of it is consumed by brake cleaner, and then the other third is just consumed by, you know, shenanigans of such. But either way, yeah, I need a zip tie sponsor, a brake cleaner sponsor, you know, a bank sponsor. Yeah, that'd be cool. But anyway, let's start this process. Let's see if we can get this thing to come to life. Hang on, guys and gals. I think I know what the problem is. Because I left this out, and I was trying to remember why I left this out. See, that is just proof right there that no one ever has a first startup that just, well, okay, yeah, I think the Boosted Boys did the other day. But that's beside the point. But anyway, no one ever has a first start that goes right. Let's drop down this ignition module here. I think there's a wire I forgot to hook back up. But you know, if it's any consolation, I'm pretty sure it's the only wire I forgot to hook back up. Which means I might have to pull the entire fuse box back out to get the room to hook it up. Or no, is it hooked up? I don't know, here in just a second. Kind of looks like it's hooked up. No, right there it is. She's hooked up. And you want to talk about Ford steel me boxes, you know, junction boxes or whatever, you know, when Ford used to have the starter solenoid up here on the fender well, you want to tell me about, you know, steel me junction boxes. This is the ultimate steel me junction box. I mean, this right here is the ignition right here. So, yeah. You got access to that. That's all you need. But it's not turning over. Huh. Well, I got a way to test and see if it's anything in my wiring, I believe. Hang tight. Alright, this here. Alright, this here should be the wire that goes down to the starter solenoid, so. Oh. Alright, so see, the starter's trying to do something now and it wasn't before. So I might still have something I need to find underneath there from where I took off that box. Huh. Interesting. Woo dang. we might be trying to start this thing from out here. Give me just 1 minute. Because you can't just label your fuse boxes like everyone else. Let's see here. Okay, page 198. Okay, I can start reading through here to see if I can figure out which fuse or relay I need. Be right back. Alrighty, the verdict's in. And simply put, I'm an idiot. Yeah, you hadn't already figured that out. You see, what happened was, I had to get in here, you know, once upon a time, to rewire all this, and you know, all these wires were, like this in here was completely cut. Like it wasn't even connected, it was just, you know, completely whatchad. And the end up here wasn't even connected, and all these wires were spliced into. I mean, as you can tell, they've all been, got them all heat shrink down, wrapped back up, and those along with a lot of other wires all over the entire truck were tapped into by, you know, that little old remote start harness and assembly and relay box over there. And whenever I was in here fixing all this, I had pulled this plug apart here to depin it so I could actually get the heat shrink on them and everything, and you know, fix them right. And apparently when I put this one back in, I put it back in the wrong slot. See where it's in this hole here? I had it right there. I had it 1 pin over. So now the truck will actually try to... Oof, duh. Now the truck will actually try and start. So, get it off accessory. Oh, come on. Just, stay. Anyway. Alright, so now I'm going to get all of this put back together, and we will attempt to start the truck once again. Now, I'm going to actually see if it'll start. Like I said, there's still a bunch of air in the fuel system, so this might... Oh yeah, we got all kinds of fancy stuff. You look behind you?
Yeah, I seen that the other day. I didn't notice that though.
Alright, let's see how long this takes. Turns over good.
Yeah.
A lot of air in there. Building oil pressure. Crank signal. Alright. We'll let that starter cool down for a minute, because she has got to be smoking hot after that. Yeah, that's what I figured. It's going to take a while. And there's no telling how much oil's in the head too that it's got to cycle through.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Do I?
They got some wires in them right there that don't affect anything.
Oh, that's just the air heater and the glow plugs. I got them unhooked just for where I've been key so much. Yeah, let's give that starter a minute to cool down and try again. I just figure in this line kit here, because the only way it has to bleed out now is through the injectors.
Yeah.
I figure it's just all the air that's trapped in this system here. It's just going to take a while to get bled out.
There's a lot of air in this thing. Just that hole in there, a lot of air.
Yeah, and I mean, that's true too, because this hose here was completely empty, and it can only bypass fuel back here, so it's got to get all the air out of this hose all the way up to this block, and then it's got to get this block aired out, and then it's got to get all the air out of these. I don't know, I might just crack this fitting open here and make a little bit of a mess just to see if we've got fuel up here anyway.
Well, if you want to crack it, I'll try starting it or whatever.
Well, you don't have to try to start. I mean, all you got to do is turn the key on.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hey, I'll just
I'll shut it off.
just turn the key on right now, and I'll just crack this fitting open until I get fuel out of it. And just put it up there to the run position. All right, pumps on. Let's see if I take a bath. I really don't. Oh, hey, we got air. Oh, and we got fuel.
Turn it off.
Yeah. All right, so we have.
You bled it to there then.
It's got fuel to that point right there anyway, which it had air in it, so.
Yeah, but that's like I said, that hose is a lot of air.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's
only letting out whatever goes through the injector.
yeah. But at least all the gauges are working. I'm getting oil pressure and crank signal, so I know that much is working anyway. Oh. Oh. Hang on. Before we get too excited, we got to make sure that we got a way to kill this sumbitch in case it runs away. I'm not saying it will, but we got.
Put that deal back over top of the turbo.
We got. Oh no, the intake's open over here. Turbo's just gonna push out and blow out here. Yeah, we just have to make sure that we got a way to try and smother this thing. But I want to make sure it's not something that it can eat either. But all right, she almost popped off. Let's see if we can do it again. Oh, a lot of air. Smooth as butter. Yeah. A lot of air. So I'm talking about. Start recording. Oh, right at 800. I mean, smooth. Didn't even barely smoke. Look, didn't even barely pop off. Ooh, she's responsive now. I barely even touched the pedal. Oh yeah, go over and burp it real quick. All right, kill it off. That's a win. That is. Sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds real good.
Yeah, I mean, once it popped too, I mean.
She's smoking.
Yeah, you got a bit more fuel than you used to have. All right, well, that's a wrap for now. I'm gonna get this front end. I'm gonna get the rest of the truck together, get all the fluids in it, and then I'll catch back up with y'all. Be a couple seconds for y'all. Maybe a couple hours for me. Later. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, who's ready for a cold start? I believe we got her all together and I can actually get her out and start driving her and tuning on her. Just got done checking all the fluids, everything's good. Once we get it started, I just gotta check the transmission fluid and top that off, but outside of that, she's ready to come out of the shop. So let's go ahead and spark this off and See what old Project Dopey Dope sounds like. See if we put the dope in it. Alrighty. Now I am still working on the startup tune. I've got it pretty close as far as I can assume or guesstimate, or I don't know proper verbiage or wordage here, but it's pretty close. But it's still, after it's been sitting for a little bit, it's kind of got a, it's almost like it's losing fuel prime, but I don't think that's it. I think it's losing oil prime. Because whenever I put that H-pop on, that adrenaline H-pop, you know, the high pressure oil pump, it's got these little drain back valves, you know, just little flat discs or springs. You know what, Barry, I'll just show it to you before we pop her off, or try to. I'll show that real quick. See these little things right here? Had one of these in each of the oil lines that went up there, coming out of the H-pop into the heads. Now in the instructions for the adrenaline, it said to take those out and leave them out. And plus, with the fittings that are on the line kit that's on the engine now, I don't think I could put those in it anyway without those getting pushed up into the line. So I think that might be part of our problem, is we're just having a losing oil prime issue. But if that's not it, and it is a tune problem, then, you know, over time it'll get worked out as I sit here and play with this thing. Alright, glow plugs are off. We'll cycle them one more time. It's not real cold out. It's like right around 60 degrees, but 7.3 big injectors. You know, y'all know how it is. Oh. Oh yeah, rope baby. Said the oil pressure was kind of slow coming up there. I think it's losing oil prime, but hey, it ain't starting too bad, especially since I haven't got anywhere near refining this tune yet. But man, does it got a nice lope when you fire up on those cold starts. I love it. Sounds good. All right, let's check out transmission fluid. I need this one way back here. Well, according to this, she's full, which we didn't lose a whole lot. We only lost a little bit. The transmission fluid's one of those things that'll grow and make it look like you've lost a lot. Woo! All right. We're going to back this thing up a little bit. It's hard on old fat fella. Oh yeah, that sounds good. That's it. I'm gonna pull more fuel out of it. Plus, when it's cold, it does haze real bad. But last night when it was hot, it wasn't even hazing at all. So tuning, little temperature differences, we'll get it worked out. Get on there. And look, it still looks halfway stock. Total sleeper. Can't wait to see what it actually does on the road. Woo, that air is thick in there. Hot dog, hot diggity dog. Woo. Anyway, that about does it for this episode here on Red Bill Performance. Oh, I've enjoyed having y'all. Thanks for stopping by. If y'all enjoyed the content, whew, the fume's getting to me. Leave a like, leave a comment. Hell, maybe even subscribe if you want to. I don't, that's up to y'all, but I'd appreciate it. It's free, helps me out sometime. Not right now, still too small, little guy, but eventually it'll help me. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. If y'all want to see some more on the tuning and the fine details of what's going to go into making this thing, you know, really chooch and get down the road with some proper motivation, come on back. It'll be here. For now, I'm gonna leave y'all with this.